Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect here, live on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me here on TalkShoe.com. Thanks so much for hearing me live once again. Hopefully, not on TalkShoe, but also you're not hearing me live. You can also hear this show on YouTube.com/Dukect and on Freaking Awesome Network.com. The Fan, that's great stuff there. Go on there to find me, the Dukect Lounge, and you can also find me on the Manic Expression. And shout out to T-Kun, he will put a post, he will comment on this thing, so thank you for that. Anyway, you'll find me on there and also on BitChute as well. So let us get started. And by the way, I apologize for the editing miscue that happened. I don't know what happened there. Must have been something in the editing or something that I don't know, Audacity couldn't pick the remaining audio up. I don't know what happened. Yeah. So yeah. Man, FanCon. Universal FanCon, everyone. Oh man. This was a con that, man, a lot of people have been talking about. It has been talked about here, for the last 2 or 3 years. Last 2 years. I first heard about Universal FanCon. By talking to some people, via Twitter, talked about this to some, people I know I collaborate with, some cool people, 3 black geeks who are affiliates and such to Universal FanCon. And other people, they were really doing all the work and such, trying to get this thing started, It is amazing about what's going on about FanCon and also the people behind it. So I'm reading this from the root, and this is a very interesting outline. Here, it's called "It Be Your Own People," the Universal FanCon and the Perversion of Community. That is a good title, really good stuff here. And Universal FanCon, like I said, was last week. Was postponed. This was supposed to be FanCon. This was supposed to be about. This weekend, a lot of people were excited about going to this convention. A lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, we got to go to this convention, FanCon. It's gonna be great," and I support. But then it came out that we're canceled and such. It was supposed to. By the way, people ask, "What is Universal FanCon?" Universal FanCon was supposed, and it was supposed to be this big convention dedicated to diversity and inclusion of geek and nerd spaces and everything else. All those nice little buzzwords, the SJWs or whatever type of stuff companies use to bring in those sweet dollar bills and such. It was going to be a nice type of stuff. There was going to be celebrity guests, vendors, all these other things. But then there's going to be a postponement. And a week before, on Friday, April 20th, it was going to be, it was, like I said, postponement. And people are wondering, what happened? How did this thing get postponed? Yeah. Let's look back, and the reason why it was postponed, ladies and gentlemen, it was postponed by because of lack of money. Someone says, "Hey, wait! If you look back at history here, they had a Kickstarter, ladies and gentlemen, a nice little Kickstarter, and I'll put the link here. That Kickstarter." Right here, Universal, see right here. Oh gosh, FanCon here. Look at that. They were, it's interesting. Kickstarter, all these things, these cons and all these situations and stuff. These con jobs. Look at it, which pretty much is what it is and such. Usually come up with Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and everything else. This is reminding me so much of the whole Indiegogo stuff with Channel. It doesn't remind me a bit of it, but but you know what? I will say this with Channel Awesome and such. At least they actually did some of the comic book show. At least they actually did some of that stuff on here. They actually did some of the shows, even though the shows are complete garbage, especially Pop Quiz Hot Shot. But this, a week before the week before the con came up, a week before this thing came up. By the way, look at the comments here. By the way, the comments here are really and such like that. It really is. People are asking when the passes and everything else. When are they going to have passes? And some people are saying they could. This one person is saying they can't go, and they were happy to donate to the convention. So many people were happy to do that, and that is, to me, the most those screwed up thing is that this looks like something right out of a gosh, it is a scam, and it pissed me off because you put people's hard-earned money out there and such. Anyway, and you look at this, and then you have super backers and such saying they asked the boss, because people are working their lives, saying the day off so they can attend this. This is going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and everything else, and then this stuff happens. The vendors and everything like that. Oh, by the way, I'm just looking at some stuff here on Twitter. Faison Love is the dumbest person alive. The tweet here. Let's see. I'm looking on Twitter and everything. I'm trying to be in this social media. Let's see. All right. Let's see. All right. He's talking about the Bill Cosby stuff. Oh, gosh. Oh, goodness. He says this stuff, which is amazing. It's so stupid. I just had to facepalm it. And by the way, what he says here is, he says, quote, "Do you know the difference between Emmett Till case and the Bill Cosby case? Not one goddamn thing." I'm like, what? Seriously? Dude. Oh, my God. Please. That is like, that is just, wow. I don't want to get into that, but I just looked at this stuff here. Guys, Twitter is amazingly, you can find so much stupid here. It's not even funny. All right. But anyway, back to the point. Back to some real stupid stuff. Is, it's the ticket stuff, which, by the way, one other thing here is, back to the point of FanCon, is that it's, a lot of people are saying that to FanCon, like, hey, what's going on? They had to postpone it. And it says, quote, "They saw their tweets and messages and such. They say, the yada, yada, yada. They have the full stuff here." It's like this. By the way, here's the full thing. It says, "We see your tweets, messages, and concerns. We will have full update later today on the status of the convention. We realize the immense severity of the situation, and our teams will be working to address everything as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience and understanding." Yeah. And this got even worse. They're trying to act. They said, quote, they're trying to reschedule this convention. At this point, I don't know why they would try to reschedule. They said that FanCon. They said, quote, FanCon said they want to inform the people of this on Thursday morning. Just write social media posts on Thursday, and even earlier this morning about the con. This leads me to believe that the sentence in a statement like this, right here, they said right here. By the way, I'll put all the stuff will be put on Twitter. I will put the stuff on the video stuff here. You will see it. It says right here. It says right here. "It is a heavy heart that we must announce that Universal FanCon is being postponed until further notice. We understand and deeply apologize for the disappointment and anger this decision may generate. We are actually aware of the impact of postponing the convention. We understand there will be a lot of people affected by this decision, and we are working hard to help everyone make alternative arrangements. We are now taking steps to reschedule the convention and will provide an update on when a new date is announced." All registered ticket holders and exhibitors will have an opportunity to have a ticket and booth space held to them at no additional cost. We are currently working on a list of freaking FAQs to go on the website to answer as many questions as possible about why this happened and what went wrong here. Thank you for hard work and dedication to Universal FanCon. You receive instructions from the public. You can have them at the email. The stuff here's an email says, "We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused you, and we hope you will join us in the future for the new event with Universal FanCon." And there's the tweet says, "Please stay at FanCon." What they said they wanted to inform you on this Thursday morning, despite social media posts on Thursday and even earlier this morning at the con. This is dated April 21st. April 21st says this year, by the way. Yeah, it's all happening current year. This leads me to believe that their sentence in their statement is false. While it's not been discussed much, as people losing hundreds of thousands of dollars takes precedence, the releasing of 1,000 personal emails is hugely inappropriate, and also leads me to believe that this was a last-minute attempt to get ahead of the problem. This is from Sherry's laboratory assessment. This is all in the article, by the way. You can look at the article of theroot.com. It be your own people. Link will be in the description as well. The link will be in the description. All the stuff here. It says, throughout the day, I learned the email was sent to jail. Some received it. BBC. I don't know what that is. BBC. I don't know what that BBC means. Blind. It says blind carbon copy. Let's see. Sorry about that. Just to talk to some other people. But anyway, back to the stuff. Blind carbon copied, and it says stuff like that to hide, the information and everything. But it's a one, But anyway, back to the point. Let's see. Talked about how they didn't really do their emails correctly. Let's see. 1,000 people's emails were shared with strangers. That was, well, yeah. So they basically doxed over 1,000 people. That's just bravo, FanCon producers. You really did. That's beautiful right there. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, they did not have to. That's funny is that what that this was not. It says right here. They believe that this person is. I believe that. This was not planned. The email was sent an hour after people got their notice and hotel reservations were canceled. All of this says to me that 7 days for the convention to start, the deadline FanCon had to pay the hotel. And they did not have the money. And with the hotel being a hotel, was forced to cancel reservations. And they were not making any money on it. And then more stuff comes out. More stuff like that. I love this stuff. It's all on Twitter. Stuff says there are some organizers and stuff. It says this. It says, "Stop lying. We got exactly. They got receipts here, and here's some of the receipts. This is about the volunteers and everything else. But nope, it's not. It's supposedly this is the one person here. Let's see. One of the main people here was the associate said, let's see. I gotta find who it is. Jamie, this woman, leader of I believe the Black Girl Nerds website. She was director of community outreach. Saying, "Oh, I was just a volunteer." No, she wasn't. In fact, she was the co-founder of Universal FanCon. She was the co-founder. She managed affiliates and team of journalists, oversees all this stuff, and also the editor-in-chief of Black Girl Nerds. Oh, wow. That's nice. And you had, again, Type Farm, Tom Leonard, all this stuff talked about these people who were a part of this huge convention. And was, well, quote, promised part of the profits. Yep. Yep. She was the co-founder. She was like, "Oh, I'm just a volunteer." No, Jamie Broadnax was a person who was really just. She was a co-founder of a highly successful website in Black Girl Nerds, and then she was a co-founder of Universal FanCon. And now they're saying, "Oh, you saying that you were just a volunteer?" No, it looks like there's some more stuff. You were more involved in this. And then you have the former director of entertainment group, Melanie Dione. Mispronouncing that, I apologize. I can't say anything. She resigned right before the FanCon's official Twitter announcement made the postponement. Then you had Robert Butler, a dude let's see, um, Dark. Oh goodness, a guy I actually like. Dark Geekus. He follows me on Twitter. He likes, I don't know, he likes my stuff. I don't know why, but anyway, he just says this quote, says they couldn't do about this stuff about the hotel. They said, "Oh, we didn't need about anything about the hotel. We didn't need about this stuff. About the blame squarely about the hotels. They blamed the hotels and everything else, and trying to really put himself in the modern world, but no." Yeah. And now there's some people are saying, and I think it's more often than not, if the hotel, the only way it says, quote, I like this, says, someone who works in hotels on Twitter says this, says the hot take on the Universal Fan Conference, someone who's worked in the hotel industry for years, the only way that a hotel can drop a block of rooms is if payment is not received by deadline outlined the contract. So they were basically doing a lot of BSing and sucking and driving, and they did not pay the due. They didn't pay it. Exactly. There were six. I love this. 6 hours in the madness, and more. Just they say this, and then even more. Oh, this gets more, ladies and gentlemen. There's more stuff to come in, and this just continues to get worse and worse. And they're trying to say this. The fraudsters behind FanCon were just trying to buy some time to fabricate a believable story about WyattCon with 56,000 already at disposal has suddenly been postponed, aka canceled and such. And then here's the initial statement right here. We got the initial statement here. Of here, like here, the statement saved about here. It says they've been postponed and everything else. They're saying here's some other stuff here posted. Don't you just love the internet? The internet, and if you put the stuff on the internet, it is there forever, ladies and gentlemen. Your sins, my sins, everybody's sins. And you can't hide them because there's always the archival stuff. People will archive this stuff, especially people with a lot of. If you take people's money and you don't promise them this stuff, and you try to BS them, they will hunt every bit of information you have to the ends of the earth. Remember that, people. If you are listening to this podcast, you're trying to do a convention, don't ever try to screw or BS people who actually are trying to do these people who are paying money and such. Don't do that, because once you do, they will hunt you down, and basically save every little thing every lie you have ever done. They'll say, okay, they'll make sure and such, because again, you could play this BS stuff back in the day. Like, if it was back in, if this was the 90s, I guarantee you something like FanCon, something like that would probably get away with this stuff. I mean, I honestly believe if this was in the 90s or something like that, maybe in the 2000s, they would believe this stuff. But now, we got all internet archives and everything else. This stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Okay, so it keeps just getting worse and worse, and the stuff is keeps continue goes. Oh yeah, and blocked. Damn, they're blocking everybody. Someone's actually just blocked all the stuff. Of course, that's the late thing to do. It's like, well, we can't really do anything. What do you do? We'll just go and block everything because yep, and all this other stuff. It's it just gets in. I love that, but yeah, game was a dream. The floor plans, everything else, capitalizations, a lot of this stuff helps concerns. Why exactly? Oh, okay. Let's see what else here. Wow, and here it is, ladies and gentlemen, and here's the edited version. The YouTube is actually editing in real time. This was a couple of days ago. And this is the I just say, cool, I'll press pay for a flight, what happens now? And then is the edited version. It says, unfortunately, many of us pay for our flights as well. With this expectation, this convention was going to happen. For this, we sincerely apologize. If you're still coming to Baltimore, feel free to join us for the Infinity War movie screening. That's right, they're still trying to do a movie. So from going from a convention to a movie screening, which, spoiler, they didn't actually have. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Lord. So basically, they took the people's money. They're bad at their own financial stuff. Mishandle everyone else's money who actually, not only for the Kickstarter, but also for the people who bought tickets and everything. And now the money's gone, but yeah, all their personal time off, all that stuff is gone. But you know what you can do? Hey, you can go see a movie that's only like a 2-hour Marvel movie and such. Because hey, everyone likes those Marvel films, right? Jeez, Louise, this is. Oh goodness, tone deaf, ladies and gentlemen, tone deaf. Oh my lord, the tone deafness is just the tone deaf is real. Is real, ladies and gentlemen. It is real. Oh gosh. Yes. And not even offer refunds, which is amazing. Oh, we got your money. We're not doing anything. Sorry. Yes. But that's it. All okay. We basically, FanCon is basically canceled, but you're not getting any money back. But you can go see a Marvel film. That is, oh gosh, that is, wow. Bravo, ladies and gentlemen. That is just, that's just beautiful right there. You can't write this stuff. Oh man, now I just want to just know who got the copyrights and make the FanCon movie or documentary or whatever. I want this thing to be this should be just a documentary or something. This just looks so comedic of errors and such. And all the money, if I ever did, I'll make a movie. I'll pay out all the proceeds and everything else goes to the people who had to go through all this BS. Here you go. Like, hey guys, you didn't get the FanCon, but made this funny movie or TV series, and it's funny as hell. Here it is. Here's the profits for it. There you go. Something like that. But yeah, here it is. More stuff here. They place their trust and money into the hands of these people and such. Yeah. And the best part is, you know what? All of the people who were supposed to be, for the community and everything else, they dodged. There's no accountability for anyone. Of course there isn't. Okay, so and now we have this nice little uh gosh, Big Bad Rob basically to Rob from the Black Geeks basically not three Black Geeks, the Black Geeks. There's another people podcast whatever called just the Black Geeks and everything. Um Not the three Black Geeks. Three Black Geeks were just promoting it. They did not have anything else. We're just promoting. They're just as they're just as victims as everyone else here in this situation. They were taken for the ride as well. They put their name and stuff on this, and they couldn't get any type of stuff here, and it really is bad because again, this is not the three Black Geeks. It's Rob of the Black Geeks. Okay, the Black Geeks. It's not. They have I don't know any connection to them or anything else like that. All that stuff. I think I only met them a couple times. They seem nice and such, and Dark Geek is Robert and such. He just went ghost on blame. Yeah, he locked his account, so he's basically. I think I mean, at this point, he's just he is going to do a lot of damage control and such. Yeah, and such. He's trying to get all solutions and everything, but whoosh, this is bad, man. This is really, 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 really bad. It looks really bad for him, and it keeps. I think it just keeps getting worse and worse for Dark Geekus and such. Locked his account exactly. He just went ghost on Twitter. Exactly. Some of them people just left on Twitter. They just rolled out. Has not been heard since because he was like another dude who was just very like big and such into since this whole mess started, he has not responded at all. He has just been ghost. He is just he has not since then. He has not been on Twitter at all, and such like that. Jamie Bronax, exactly, has demoted herself from co-founder and from co-founder to member and such. It seems like there's a lot of people who are pissed off right now, who are just out this whole situation, and she was gonna get she was a co-founder now to a member of Universal Fan Con too. She was gonna get cut of the profits and everything. And she doesn't really take any personal responsibility. It's like, oh, I just didn't know. You're the co-founder. You're one of the head media. Supposedly, here it is. She is the main media group here. She is Jim Ballox is not just the co-founder of it. She was the director of community outreach. She don't you think they should have been like, hey, I should what, I might have, I think I wasn't part of this huge thing here about this huge level about this this whole event, and yet you did not take any type of responsibility. And I cannot stand that. You make a mistake as this, at least say at the end of the day, I am, you know what? If you are a co-founder of this, take some of take personal responsibility. Say, yes, there were some misgivings. We will find this out. We'll give every person who put this to vendors and everything their money back. You should be like, they did not know. Yeah, stuff like that. You have to take personal responsibility. I mean, you and everyone else around there has to take personal responsibility and everything. At least, well, look at it. At least, Rob Butler. At least he is saying, you know what, I did. You know, I'm trying to do the same thing. At least Dark Geekus is saying I take some personal responsibility in all this. He's trying to take some responsibility, and I can at least say, yeah. You know, it just there is it's sad that this thing had to go down like this. That because I wasn't gonna go to the event and such, but I was, you know, retweeting and everything else, and like, hey, I hope this was a good time and fun for people like that. But instead, we have this mess. We got this mess of a convention of mistrust and incompetence. But yeah, and it sucks for people. You know, you see this situation. And a lot of people who've been through Black Girl Nerds and people who've been through all this stuff, and it sucks though. It does suck, and there's hopefully there's a lot of there's gonna be some bitterness out there, but I hope, and I really hope, that there's lessons to be learned, and hopefully everyone gets their money back. And again, it gets even worse. It looks like this could have been a con. Yep, it looks like one of the members of the WarCon, Tai Nam Farm, has been allegedly linked to several failed cons in the past. And he was collaborative and such. And now supposedly there might be some stuff here. Like there could be some type of this could be a scam. Which, if that's the case, then a lot of it, looks like if this could be. We don't know. There's alleged stuff that's going on here. And by the way, FanCon did the best thing. They went on Instagram and trying to basically clear out these attempting to clear only Farm's name. That's it. That's what not clear anyone else's but his name. Even though it looks like there might have been some shadiness there. So yeah. And that's the real sad part is they knew, the people on top of this situation knew something was wrong early in the month. But they just kept going and going and going. They kept saying it's all good and lied to people. You're going to lie to these people and such. Kickstarter backers. You lied to Kickstarter backers. You lied to people who actually bought tickets. You lied to people who are going to who are you lied to people who guessed there. So you lied to them. There were people who are like, I know one of the people who are the director of Luke Cage of the hit show on Netflix. He was going to be at FanCon, but this whole thing got bungled up. And by the way, here's some other stuff here from other Kickstarters and such. is like there's a lot of the lack of transparency. People from the original Kickstarter backer, Leslie Mack, Kickstarter's backer, she's like the lack of both transparency and urgency with regard to communications. That her frustration was a lack of both transparency and urgency with regard to communication with attendees, vendors, and talent. Vendors at this con particularly represent among the most marginalized creators in fandom. They put their trust and hope in the organizers of Universal FanCon because for so long they have been treated as less than an aside at mainstream con events. So this situation goes beyond just the cancellation of the event. What happened what has happened is that those most vulnerable in the community have been harmed, and thus zero actions have been taken to address that harm and offer solutions to reduce the financial impact of what amounts to poor planning and terrible communications. So, just like I'm just talking about, God dang, it's like I'm just talking same thing about Channel Awesome and all this BS. Poor planning, terrible communications. It's like George Lucas. It's like poetry, it rhymes. Jeez Louise. But let's keep going, It's, but yeah, a performer. You have, then we continue on from Jay Connor, performer. It says, Universal FanCon's mission to produce the first ever large-scale fan experience for diverse and inclusive audiences was not only in line with our own vision, but presented us with a unique opportunity to be part of history. So naturally, we were amped when they invited us to perform at the event. And as a special treat to fans of the show, as well as those in attendance, we invited Unique Jones Gibson, founder of Because of Them. We can to join us for a special live recording for our podcast. This is some of the podcast stuff. But it says, quote, as it continues on, however, the callous and abrupt nature of this cancellation, which a lot of people are saying is canceled. Yeah, because there's no way in the world this con is going to come back. It's gone, ladies and gentlemen. It's canceled. Not only have the organization of Universal FanCon spit in the face of the very community they claim to be championing, but they put attendees, vendors, guests, and performers such as ourselves in a serious bind. I have spent the entire weekend reading horror stories of vendors losing thousands of dollars in inventory, confining through flippant and dismissive responses from organizers, learning about these attendees losing hundreds of thousands of accommodations, and sending an absurd amount of time putting out fires related to cancellation of our show. So, yeah. And it comes down here saying, while fans of our podcast expressed disappointment with this unfortunate rivalry events, they've been extremely understanding of these circumstances. That being said, our podcast isn't a hobby. It's a business. So as a result of this abrupt cancellations, our relationships with key sponsors and brands have been jeopardized. And this is the founder of the Extraordinary Negroes podcast. So I think it's, let me just see right here. This is their podcast. This is something, they were, this a website and such, and they do podcast. This is, the podcast stuff, and they got popular to use this as a job, and they put that in risk and jeopardy. This fan convention put that in risk and jeopardy here. It says right here, Sister Greek, a creator, and it says, this keeps going on. It says, I've seen how cons lack safe spaces for black women like me. As a cosplayer, I experienced firsthand how a con's mishandling of the cosplay does not equal consent can have lasting negative impacts on one's psyche. I saw Universal FanCon as something that offered more, a place to be safe, accepted, and able to cosplay in peace. Not only did she back Universal FanCon, she purchased airfare from Seattle to Baltimore, reserves hotel room, non-Universal FanCon related, reserved a rental car, and on top of that, spent months designing a cosplay that she would debut at this convention. And they did this, Again, it's the people there. It's, the people like this who get really this negative hampering and such. It's been a roller coaster ride of emotions. I understand that as a cosplayer, costs associated with putting together outfits is on me. That's not anyone else's responsibility. But the time, energy, blood, sweat, tears, and money put into Dior and Manje, I think the character of the recent Black Panther movie, she was ready to do something like that for Universal FanCon. Yeah, that's just like this. Can never be recouped. The dream of audience is not there. The audience that embraces black women cosplayers is not there. That is what hurts her heart right there. Right there, sister. That I feel for her. That is just terrible. and people with con experience. It says like there, communication was sorely lacking, and it became clear that a few months before the convention break, they were having issues. They wanted to do too much in their first year without taking advice to steer back. Too many promises were made with no money coming in. And here's another one. I have people question my integrity, and the lack of transparency from the board has made all of us involved in the capability to take the hits. I live in the South. All the cons I attended are extremely white, so a convention that was for people that look like me by people that look like me, that was amazing. And I wanted to help bring that to people that felt the same way as I did. The biggest concern is for all fans that believe in the mission of the con and put their trust in these these quote unquote leaders who have done nothing to be transparent and make it right to thousands of people. And it says the affiliates of this saying, like many affiliates of FanCon. This is from Alice Ron, founder or director of Disability Visibility Product. It says, quote, like many attendees of FanCon, I was beyond excited at the prospect of a convention by us for us. The mission and spirit of FanCon aligned with the Disability Visibility Project, and I believe that it would be a true, inclusive, diverse, and accessible event. It is an understatement to say that I am horrified and pissed off about the cancellation of FanCon at such a short notice and the lack of transparency. Disabled folks expend a lot of labor just living and surviving for marginalized disabled folks of color. There are many expenditures in time, energy, and money involved in attending a con. It pains me that my support of this con may have encouraged folks to make plans to only face disappointment and financial hardship. I hope that the Kickstarter backers, ticket holders, vendors, presenters, and creators will be made whole by the FanCon organization. Another thing that stings is the amount of free labor and consultation so many people, including affiliates, have provided to FanCon because we wanted to build something amazing together for our diverse nerd communities. I gave a lot of advice, among others, all last year on accessibility, and there's nothing to show for it. Betrayal tastes super salty. Let's see, there's a lot of others here. But you know what? There is a positive here. They groups, but you know what? There's something really good community to, just as a community, it says right here, there's a positive here. Groups like Nerds of Color and Black Heroes Matter resemble a pop-up con called WimcoMicon. WimcoMicon. I can't pronounce any of that, I'm sorry. But that's what they did, and it will be slated for Saturday, April 28th, in 48 hours. That was quick. They said, we're going to make this thing. We're going to come in together. We're going to try to do something here. And it says, hey, for people who are still headed for Baltimore and needed a place to commune and sell their merchandise, something the organized team, 48 hours. They said, screw it. We're going to do something like this, a popcorn convention, so you can just come in, sell the stuff, and actually meet up some gas to do at least one or two panels and such. You have social media heroes like Calvin and Angelique Roche. They put out a vendor survey to account for everyone who may be affected by the con's proposal and to minimize the time and money that have been lost. They are doing a Twitch live stream with FanCon panels, and the writers were familiar with they came around and actually said, people are coming together and saying, we are building this stuff here. They're trying to say to pull this stuff together, and I am rooting for them. I'm hopeful that this thing goes off without hitch because this thing needs somewhat of a positive ending. I hope WimcoMicon, Rico Mycon, I can't pronounce, I'm sorry, but hashtag WimcoMicon and such. This pop-up convention can at least somewhat recoup this loss and somewhat try to do this stuff here. Here's hopefully that there's going to continue the growth of this stuff, Because I want this to be something positive, I want this to be something more of a positive. I don't want this to be just a negative downward spiral of DashCon. I don't want this to be like something like that. Hopefully there is a happy ending. I want this to be something of a happy ending because there are so many people right now who are hurt right now, who've gone here and everything else. Who went through all this stuff here. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, uh, though I think the people who have this situation, who went through this stuff, WinMaCon, by the way, they are actually, like I said, they actually got guests here for this whole thing from Black Hill Band. So, by the way, you are amazing here. The people who do WinMaCon here, they actually, the con together and stuff, they have putting this stuff up. They have gotten, like I said, Shio Harikoka, the showrunner of Luke Cage, Greg Park, of writer of Totally Awesome Hulk, cast members from the sci-fi TV series Magicians and Killjoys, creator April Rain, creator Oscar Wright, and all this type of stuff. And then you have Leah Williams, The Alchemy of Being 14, Alchemy of Being 14, writer of author of The Alchemy of Being 14, and writer of X-Men Gold. So they, for all this stuff happening, they have gotten this stuff, they have actually done something like this to really help save. They have actually done some really good stuff to come together and bring this convention off of the complete failure that was Universal Fan Con. So that's the end of it. Here's hoping that everything works out. That everything works, and not only that, this becomes, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this thing becomes something of a thing. WiccoMaCon or whatever becomes a thing, and they start doing not just in Baltimore, DC, or whatever. Just becomes a universal thing. You know what? That's what I say. That's what it is. So, and here's hoping that this stuff will, you will have at least, if we can't have Universal Fan Con, at least we'll have WiccoMaCon. Hopefully that will be something for everybody to get here. A little positive, something that will start up and soon. So it might be only for Saturday, but maybe next year, they can say, you know what? Well, we'll build this thing again, and we'll have much more of a stronger stuff. It might be small and start out big. That's my hope. That's just my personal opinion. Anyway, that's just all for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for listening. This is Dukect here. Peace, love. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Later.